Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Keep learning, keep progressing. This is Satyendra Singh and I'm going to take you through the third episode of Leadership Attributes, a series of videos that addresses the different attributes of a great leader. In the first two episodes, we learned about vision, which is the very essence of leadership, and courage, which is the foremost of all the virtues. In the third episode, I'm going to take you through this attribute about which it has been said that this attribute alone might not make you a leader, but without this, you cannot become one. At times when I look at this world, it appears to me as if we live in two different worlds merged together. One world where the end justifies the means, where efforts are forgotten and results are appreciated and celebrated irrespective of what gave way to the result. A new school of thought, result is all that matters, is ruling every aspect of our existence. Every individual, be it a common man striving for his existence, a middleman aspiring for a better living, or a high-class executive ambitious to make a difference, are all busy harnessing the benefits of this very school of thought. Over-promising and under-delivering has become a latest trend in sales. CEOs have learned how to overstate the projected earnings as a method to establish their leadership and prevent themselves from being replaced by the board of directors. The entrepreneurs are all engaged in overstating their performance for the sake of higher valuation from the investors, and the investors, on the other hand, are all busy finding ways to understate a company's value in order to negotiate a lower value in a deal. Every individual in that matter is busy exploring more and more ways to take advantage of this very school of thought. But wait, have you ever wondered what this school of thought may lead to? What would a futuristic existence look like? That's scary, isn't it? But wait, there is another world where a different school of thought operates, a school of thought which is quite opposite to the previous one and states that the end is inherent in the means, which means that the purity of the means, the process, the path is as important as the end itself. This later school of thought is one of the attributes that is considered to be a must for every individual, every team, every organization. In leadership, this is considered to be one of the top attributes of a great leader. And it is by virtue of these attributes that leaders have been able to inspire trust among the followers. But before I talk about this attribute, let me share something with you. I have worked in 6 different organizations and I have yet to come across an organization which didn't have this as one of its core values. Moreover, right since my childhood, I've been listening to stories, simple stories, moral stories, most of which were revolving around this attribute. Having said that, let me take this opportunity to narrate a very simple and powerful story that I heard during my childhood. This is a story of a mother and her little son. The mother was very upset that her child was completely obsessed with eating sugar, a habit that was definitely not good for her child. She made several attempts to convince the child not to eat sugar, but failed every time. One day she was frustrated and she decided to take this small son to his idol, which was Mahatma Gandhi. So she traveled miles before she could reach the ashram of Mahatma Gandhi in Ahmedabad, where she finally got to meet Mr. Gandhi. On her very first meet, she greeted Mahatma Gandhi and she said, "Bapu, I've come here with lot of hopes. My son eats lot of sugar, which is very harmful for his health. Bapu, he admires you a lot, and I'm sure that if there is any person in this world who he will listen to, it's you, Bapu. Bapu, you're the last hope for me. Please advise my child not to eat sugar, as it's not good for his health." Mahatma Gandhi listened to her with patience and said, "I cannot tell him not to eat sugar. Take him back home and bring him after a month." The mother was highly disappointed, and why not? She had traveled miles to meet Gandhiji, and Her only expectation was that Mahatma Gandhi tells her son not to eat sugar, maybe just a simple sentence. She returned home. And after a month, with some hope still alive, she came back to meet Gandhi. And this time, Gandhi ji moved toward the child, took his hands on his own, knelt before him, and in very sweet word said to the child, "Do not eat sugar, my child. It's not good for your health." Then he embraced him and he returned the child to his mother. The mother was very grateful and she thanked Gandhiji. But there was something going in her mind, and out of curiosity she asked, "Bapu, what you said today, you could have said the same thing the last time when I brought my child to you." To this, Gandhiji smiled and said, "Mother, a month ago when you brought him to me, I myself was eating sugar. How could I advise your child not to eat sugar when I myself was eating sugar? Now I have stopped eating sugar." Mahatma Gandhi preached what he practiced and practiced what he believed. There was a complete harmony among his thoughts, his feelings, his words, his actions. And that is what we call as integrity. And this sets a perfect platform for us to talk about the third attributes of a great leader, which is called as integrity. Integrity, a word that has become an integral part of our existence, something without which the thoughts that we think, the feelings that we experience, the words that we speak, and the actions that we execute will lose their values, their purpose, their very existence. Oxford Dictionary defines integrity as, number one, the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles. And number two, the state of being whole and undivided. In today's episode, we are going to talk about integrity as the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles. In the next episode, we will talk about integrity as the state of being whole and undivided. The quality of being honest and having strong moral principle implies two simple things about integrity. Number one, being honest. And this implies that you would be honest in every of your interaction, irrespective of the situation, irrespective of the circumstances, irrespective of the impact it has on your own life or on the environment in which you operate. When I say honesty, I mean truthfulness, speaking the truth, admitting the truth, accepting the truth, honoring the truth, and living a life of truthfulness. One of the greatest examples of honesty is Raja Harishchandra, who gave away his kingdom, sold his family, and became a slave. And all these to fulfill the promise that he had made to Vishwamitra, who was testing his truthfulness without the farmer even knowing about it. Raja Harishchandra was subjected to the severest trials, and during every trial, Vishwamitra offered Raja Harishchandra the option to deny that he has ever made such promise, and he will get back all his possession. But Raja Harishchandra every time, even during the toughest of suffering, remained glued to his words and honored the promise that he had made. It is said about him that he was a truthful man and never lied in his entire life, and therefore we call him as Satyavadi, the one who always speaks the truth. Having strong moral principle means that your thoughts, your feelings, your words, your actions, your deeds will all be guided by strong moral principles. Principles that are based on ethical practices. It's about choosing your actions based on values rather than for personal gains. The reason why Mahatma Gandhi could not preach what he never practiced is because he was guided by strong moral principles which never allowed him to say or do something which he himself never believed. And that is one reason why the whole world followed Mahatma Gandhi, learnt from him, and considered themselves as his followers. From this episode, we learnt about the third attributes of a great leader, which is called as integrity. Integrity is the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles. But is that all about integrity? Is integrity just about being honest and being guided by strong moral principles, or are there other aspects associated with integrity? In fact, integrity means much more than being honest and being guided by strong moral principles. The second definition of integrity as per Oxford Dictionary states that integrity is the state of being whole and undivided. And this very definition opens up new meanings of integrity. But that we will discuss in the fourth episode of Leadership Attributes. Thank you so much for watching the third episode of Leadership Attributes. I'll come back very soon with the next episode. Till then, keep learning, keep progressing.